Slugma boy.
Oh! Wow!
Hello, have you ever heard of Tyrian purple? Back in the day, when people wanted to make pigment for purple dye, the only way to get it was by crushing thousands of tiny sea snails. Since the process was so difficult and expensive, purple became, as you probably know, the color of kings. So we're drawing Slugma as one of those snails. Before we start, special thanks to Jaeger for giving me this idea. Since it is a sea snail, making it a water type felt appropriate, but I thought since Tyrian blue is the color of kings, making it a dragon type would be an even better fit. I pushed the regal idea a bit further too, as you'll see. My first shot at designing Slugma was really bad. I have a bad habit of glazing over the final details of a design, and for some ungodly reason I used poison type Pokemon as my reference for a dragon type. The only dragon type I looked up was Gumi, which also looks like a poison type if we're being honest. I did get a grasp of what the core feature that would make Slugma read as a dragon type was though, and that's turning those little magma mustache blobs into tusks. I thought giving it angry eyes like Bagon would work well, but with how harsh the colors I ended up choosing were, it just looked wrong. I came back to it a couple of days later with a fresh mindset, and it immediately went much smoother. I looked up some proper reference material for one. Like I said, being a snail, Slugma already looks like a poison type, so I had to be as conservative as possible with the design. I changed its eyebrow ridges into something that looks more like a dinosaur's, which is basically what the dragon types are, and made sure to keep its eyes the same. My first color for the underside, being red, wasn't a conscious choice, but just the default color I had selected. But I immediately liked it, and the other colors I tried didn't fit as well. I also like that it fits Slugma's original color scheme, tying it back together a little bit. Slugma lives in coastal caves, hiding in the damp darkness. Their eyes can see in any light condition, and they spend most of their lives lying in ambush. When they sense danger, these cowardly Pokemon will quickly slither away. Their tusks are razor sharp and believed to bring luck. Magcargo was more of the same in a sense. The mustache is replaced with fangs, while the eyebrow ridges become much less pronounced. I did a quick breakdown of its body shape and concluded I don't have to include the little fire at the top of its shell if I just replaced it wholesale. If you paid attention to the start of the video, you might have noticed that the Tyrian snail shells look basically exactly like Cloyster and Slowking's shell. Going with that royalty theme, I decided to switch Magcargo's shell with what is basically a bootleg Slowking crown. I also changed the shape of the magma blobs on Magcargo's body to look more like a lizard's scales. Mirroring Slowking, I figured Magcargo will evolve with the King's Rock. We'll see how that looks in a moment. Magcargo prey on Gastrodon and Cloysters. Their shells are stolen from Slowbros and Slowkings, and if they lose it, the Pokemon will immediately search for a new one. Their bite has the force of a hydraulic press, and they will sometimes break stone with their enormous teeth to intimidate rivals. And the new form, Regicargo. At first I wanted its crest to look like a crown, with the idea being that this dragon is a false king, but it didn't sit quite right with me. In the next iteration I tried to evoke a mix of Bowser and King John from the Disney Robin Hood movie, aiming for the feeling that this is a usurper. The biggest challenge was figuring out how many spikes I want coming out of its shell, at what angle, and how many stolen crowns I want to stick on those spikes. My original vague vision of a Smog-style hoarder disappeared pretty quickly, but after that it was relatively straightforward. After I made what I thought was the final draft, I realized I completely botched the lighting on its nose, which made it look like some kind of kobold. That could have been cool in its own way, but that wasn't what I was aiming for. The two crowns were also almost identical in size, which is something you almost always want to avoid, so I shrunk the one on its head. I like how dumb it looks. Regicargo control vast territories and devour an immense amount of fish. Their legendary appetite is the bane of every fishing town. They obsessively collect King's Rocks, denying their siblings the ability to evolve, but will also fight over crowns, coins, and anything else made of gold. Their enormous bodies produce gallons of purple mucus, and in the past hunters who could capture them would be paid a king's ransom for it. Right, that's another trio done. Make sure to like the video, share, all that good stuff. If you have anything you'd like me to draw next, make sure to comment down below. Bye now! Man.